Okay. All right. Welcome back. Here we go. We are beginning this adventure um, in a familiar location, a place you've been before, as you find yourself in the palace of Moonshay in Carador, surrounded by the elite of the islands, and some of them your friends, some of these folks known to you, some of them unknown to you. um, you find yourselves uh, surrounded by the smells and the cool air of the palace, the giant statues, all of the noble houses represented. There's a general music in the air. There's talking, quiet, polite conversation of the aristocracy, some of it laced with, as you can imagine, innuendo and vile bitterness. But for your part, all of you are young, and this is not your normal arena. So you find yourselves just taking in the scene as you look down. You are in your finest Sunday clothes, dressed in your crushed velvet and silver adorned uniforms. Even you, Lorian, in finer clothes than you've ever worn. And you are in conversation with someone from House von Ravensburg. Yeah, go ahead.
This is where, or this is the same place that Lorian kind of went into that trance before, right?
I'm not sure that Lorian has ever seen the palace.
But the same city, right?
This is definitely Upper Carador. So if if we can quickly just go back to the main map. And we zoom in on that area. If we look at, you can kind of zoom in here, and let me see if I can draw your attention. So there is a space right here. This is called Lower Carador. On your map, where that little half moon is, there's a river. That's as far as Lorien ever got. You have to charter a boat across the lake to Upper Carador, which is the actual capital of Moonshay. And yeah, essentially you feel as if you're at the coronation in the after party after the time that you had all left. And again, Lorien never made it this far.
Okay.
So real quick, do you guys want to stay on the wide map, the big map, or do you want to go to back to the palace?
Palace, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so back to the palace. And again, you are speaking with, it looks like you're speaking with, one second. Krieg von Ravensburg, the Baron, and his attaché, several of his supporters, his man-at-arms, and just sort of having this conversation about how the Isles will continue to prosper under the reign of Adahan. And it seems, kind of light, frivolous conversation. But yeah, that's kind of what's happening right now. Everyone can make a perception check or an insight roll.
Are we supposed to be able to see what's in the very southern?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, you can see everything you want to see.
Okay. You said perception?
That insight as well, right?
Or one or the other.
Well, I thought I'd have a good roll.
Okay. Let me move myself there, actually. There we go. So let's see. Tanis, you are taken aback because you said it. Lorian, roll a wisdom saving throw, Lorian.
Okay.
You grab out at who would you grab toward? Breckenridge or Steo, do you think?
Probably Steo.
All right, so your hand just reaches out to Steo and your knees get a little bit weak and you start to drop. Steo kind of holds you up. The von Ravensburgs see this, and in the nobility class, they kind of view any outburst as suspect, and so they, oh, is he quite all right? And they seem, duly suspicious that someone of his bearing should even be here. He doesn't, use the right words or carry himself in the right way. Breckenridge, this is all painfully obvious to you, but Lorian, you watched that group of four just walk through the southern door and disappear from your sight between the two guards. People are coming and going. I want to be representing that there are, for each one of the family, the kind of the family dots, those little symbols, those house symbols, there are at least 5 people. And this is up on the raised platform, which is above the main walkway or the main grand hall. To the south, between you and the door, there are at least 200 or 300 people. These are all nobility. They're servants. They're all of the people that take care of them. There are waiters, delivering food and drinks to everyone, and this is sort of a festive environment. So that's what you saw. At the same time, Breckenridge, let me just kind of tell you what you saw.
Yeah, I was curious who left.
You thought you saw someone, your eyes were drawn this way, and you thought you saw someone disappear through that exit. That's a red carpeted exit to the east, and it looked like the white and gray wings of Leonidas, just sort of leaving at a casual pace. But yeah, something doesn't seem quite right. What do you guys do? And actually, Steo, you're probably just kind of had your back to all of that, and you're just looking up, and you see what you see on the map. But obviously, your mother, your uncle, in conversation with the king steward and Deshay.
Yeah. So I think Steo and Breck, but Steo would definitely have a couple of things going on, like in a sense, I've been here before, it was bad and we left. We escaped basically. I'm probably in disbelief that we're here again. Kind of maybe confused, maybe wondering if this is real or not. If there's some kind of weird illusion or trick from the hag. But otherwise, yeah, he's just trying to get his bearing, and help Lorian and, see where Breck is, and make sure we're all kind of together.
Okay.
Yeah, tied to that, 2 things. I rolled a 25. Can you give me more detail about what seems odd, so that I can communicate that with the others?
Okay, so your perception, just sort of what you see around you, you don't feel as if there's like anyone hiding around a corner, or you do feel like this is a very, very dangerous place, maybe among the most dangerous places you've ever been. But what you see is what you see. All of these powerful families, they're guards, they're hangers on. But I'll tell you what. Why don't you roll an insight to sort of reflect inwardly?
Yeah, there's another part of that. It seems odd to me that Karth is there. Dang it. Seems odd to me that Karth is there.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
You start to feel as if this is the better outcome, that Karth is alive, that the rest of it's a nightmare, and that you start to move toward Karth. Why don't Steo, you roll a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah.
So there's two things going on here. Obviously, you as players know what's going on, but your characters are not quite there yet.
Yep.
So Steo, you obviously follow Breckenridge's eyes as he sees his father up at the top of the stairs talking with Adahan. And you can just see all of the stress and worry that Breckenridge has been through for the last week, or actually 30 hours, more or less, start to just fade from his face as the squinting around his eyes eases. And he's like, oh, and you can almost tell what he's going through, and he starts to move that direction. What would you do?
I would grab him to stop him from doing that, certainly. And really, grab his tunic or whatever, just like tightly, and just hold him, pull him back.
All right, let's have the three of you guys roll initiative
With
just against each other.
Face,
yeah.
Oops. I didn't pick on my guy, but that's the best roll I've had in months.
Let's see here. So do we have Steo on here twice? Yeah, I'm gonna go get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Breckenridge, what'd you have?
Total of 14.
14, okay. Got kind of lucky on that one. Lorian, you had a 22?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Descending. All right, Lorian.
I'm pretty sure Lorian would be pretty stunned
Mhm.
and just kind of keeping an eye out, seeing what else is around.
Okay.
So he's just going to take the ready action to be able to respond to anything else that he sees.
Why don't you make an insight check as you are just sort of taking in the attitudes and the effect that your interactions might be having on the. Okay, so this totally checks out, because Lorian probably doesn't have a great understanding of the aristocracy or how people behave, and so to him, this is a super uncomfortable place to be. You're much more happy in a tavern or whatever, but given yourself 3 to 4 days, you could certainly function in any capacity, but just to be dropped into it like this, you're feeling just off your game. Steo, let's go ahead and are you going to try to, so I'm going to say that you can easily grab Breckenridge's tunic. Whether or not you want to get into physically hold him back or try to persuade him is up to you. You can certainly try to do both too.
I would probably try, and just because I've know him so well, the place is pretty crowded, in here, like I said, it's 5 people per token. So I think I could do that without drawing a lot of attention. I'm not like tackling him or grappling him, but just like, grab him and say, hold, say this, hold, and or this isn't real or something like that.
So I'm going to say that Steo doesn't quite know it's not real yet. He just knows
Right.
something's not right.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So I definitely
can you think of an in situation thing that you might say to Breckenridge to like calm him down or get him to
Well, yeah,
slow
for
down?
sure. I mean, I'd say that Deshay is up there, um, behind your father. So
Roll a persuasion with advantage.
that's about as good as I can get. Let's see.
That's perfect. I was also thinking, hey, remember decorum, like look where we are. You can't just go barging up there.
But hey, your dad was dead like last time we saw him.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a +5 to that. So we're going to call that a 16 because
Okay.
it's in situation. Breckenridge, roll an insight with, this is going to be weird, with advantage. So yeah, go ahead. All right. We're going with the 9, but I'm going to call that you've got a round where Steo just sort of reaches out, grabs your shoulder. He says, look who your father's with. You notice Deshay, and for a moment, I'm going to say that Breckenridge is kind of stunned because he's seeing her and like, what's he doing with her and what's, Aunt Constance doing up there. And there's just this moment of very strange situation for Breckenridge where he's not quite sure. At the same time, from within there's a group of 5 Pike members. Some of the servants from House Pike, they're all wearing the House Pike colors, just to the north of you, sort of between you and the stairs.
Yeah.
And from the midst of that group comes a black cat that you recognize as Mortem's cat. And it sort of, weaves its way through all those legs and then starts batting its head against your boot. Boom, boom, you know how cats when they want to be petted. And I'm going to roll a stealth for that guy. So at the moment, none of the servants appear to see the cat. So go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Breckenridge.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeez.
So you're still feeling, the rules are really just kind of following the arc of the game, where Breckenridge has had this tremendous loss, and you just really want to go up there and talk to your father. But you're like taking a moment and not doing that. So
I would think he would recognize Ghost as a like, I don't want to be dramatic about it, but like as a companion. I mean, this is a beast that has been through combat with us and stuff.
Yeah.
So would be inclined to like kneel down and pet him while I'm kind of contemplating the situation.
Okay. Yeah. So you take a moment and you pick, I'm going to say you can even pick him up, right? So that you wouldn't be kneeling down in this, you want to have your shoulders back and stand properly. But so you pick Ghost up, and then someone appears in the midst of your group, and looking exactly as he did on the beach, completely wrecked, his armor still sizzling, starting to quickly draw the attention of everyone around him. Mortem leans in to the 3 of you. He puts his hand on your elbow, Breckenridge, and motions for you to come in a little bit closer. And he says, "She's here. She doesn't know that I'm protecting your dreams. I think you should find out what you can. I won't let anything happen to you. I'll guard your sleep, but it might be worth discovering what we can learn.
Which she? Ursula or Deshay?
Ursula,
Where is she?
on the beach where you are. I'll put it as plainly as I can. She wishes to torment you with her dreams, with these nightmares. I can protect you from the torment. You can experience what she would have you experience, and we can learn from it.
Anyone else?
Is she manifesting herself in the dreams?
She may.
All right, so player to player, I feel like it's totally the king. You want me to one-shot him?
No, I this has happened before, where, like, for we've had these these experiences with the dreams. So I mean, it's Mortem, it's Ghost. I would trust it. So yeah, let's see what we can find out. I don't see House Scriber. Do I see House Scriber in this midst?
You don't. Actually, good observation, but you do recall that when you were here for real,
They left.
They sort of made a scene and left.
Stormed out, yeah.
And that's consistent. So this feels like essentially the moment in time that the three of you left to escape before the attention was turned toward you.
Okay.
And so at this stage, Mortem says, yes, the three of you, and he's kind of whispering, the three of you have fallen asleep while we were planning, while we were talking about what to do. I cannot be compelled to sleep. Therefore, I have watched the hag in her ethereal form hover over your bodies. She thinks she's controlling this nightmare, and she does to a great extent, but I will prevent her from harming you in your sleep. But
Okay.
I can't stay here and do that. And then he kind of turns over his shoulder like he's looking at something, and Ghost will stay. And then he just winks out of existence. There's a moment where some of the people walking around are kind of like all looking at where Mortem just was, and the murmuring and the talking all dies down. And then for a moment that seems to be like hovering, like what's going to happen. And then some conversation picks back up, and it's like it never happened. But Ghost is still sort of in the crook of your arm, Breckenridge, and just sort of perfectly calm and purring.
Okay.
So
Pat is comfortable with the situation at the moment. So Ken, I would like to keep an eye on Ghost.
okay.
And if Ghost starts to look agitated or upset, I'd like to be conscious of that.
All right, very good. So at the moment, Ghost is kind of sort of resting in the crook of your arm, but not doesn't appear to be pushing anything. You do feel like you can certainly explore around. You can talk to people. You can try to find out things. The the Baron von Ravensburg has sort of watched all this with like polite interest, but it's almost like he's not hearing what you're saying. And he, again, sort of, Lord Pike, is everything quite all right? I did not know you were a lover of animals.
Yes, well, I hated to see this tiny creature threatened under the heels of so many boots. So
You are a kind
it's
man.
important to protect the weak.
That is true. That is true. Your family has always had a reputation for treating others fairly. It's good to see that the apple has not fallen far from the tree, as they say. And he reaches out and kind of you know, gives Ghost a scratch behind the ear, and then he starts to make some small talk about, you know, how's the fishing? I hear there's been some trouble with Sahaugen in your area, bothering the fishermen. We must eventually turn our eyes to them and drive them away from our shores.
Potentially, yeah. Or establish a trade relationship so that we can all benefit and profit.
I hadn't thought of that, but to be fair, anyone who's tried in the past has run into their bestial ways. But perhaps the new generation, you've tried such things before with success.
Anyone in the past was not me.
I like that. I like that confidence. It will serve your house well. And at this stage, he sort of turns his attention to House Lachlan and then continues that conversation. Is there anything you guys would like to do?
Steo and Lorian, what do you guys think we should do as our next step for information gathering?
Yeah, if we've got if we know this is a dream, you know, we could even we could split up a little bit if we want to try to get more detail. Maybe Lorian, maybe I could add a whisper to Lorian that supposedly Bonnie was going to be betrothed to this tool over here, Earl Dax Bashir. Maybe, you know, he doesn't know you, so maybe you could chat him up or see what he knows. I'm not sure if we can trust him or not at this point, because House Bashir's kind of jerks. Anyways, I don't know, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it's a good option. It appears that we have a free shot here. We could go talk to Adahan and Deshay.
Yeah, that's a bold move. I got you back.
I'm not very well caffeinated, so I'm not sure I should lead the conversation.
Well, I've had enough caffeine to kill a horse, so I'm down if you guys are down.
Yeah, I mean, we can go chat with them and just see what information we could pull. I'm not sure. It's been a while since we've had to deal with Deshay, and I forget what we need to do to get rid of her.
Well, it would be interesting to know if Deshay knows about Stale and being heir to the throne. You know, actually doing that, Damon, could be a great way to kind of just check that out and
yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and see what she says. And you know,
building on that, we could also check and see if she knows about Brand and see if we can just sow some chaos into the idea that there might be a whole lot of claimants.
Well, she must know that, right? Because of the curse on Adahan. I don't know. Maybe she isn't aware that, you know, there's could be half dozen heirs out there.
And
they're killing all the firstborn, so, or whatever.
If I remember correctly, the only reason we didn't kill her in the past was just crappy rolls.
Yeah, we just missed barely.
Yeah, so this might be, because it's the first time we've seen her in a long time, this might be a good way to actually figure out what's going on with her, while there's not any poor rolls to miss, per se.
Yeah.
Or no life and death stakes based on the rolls.
You ready?
While you guys are deciding, I'm going to step away for 1 sec. You're right back.
Yeah, no, I think you guys are totally right in your assumptions.
So we want to try to intimidate her or befriend her, because we could put Lorien behind her, which should intimidate pretty much everybody.
Well, we've got all the guards around. We don't want to, create a scene or seem like there's a way to attack. She's standing at the top of the stairs, so we should be respectful. We've still got to deal with get past House Hexam, and then Steo's mom and your dad. So, but I think going up there to talk to them, maybe you take the lead, Breck, followed by Steo, and then if Lorraine, if you want to come follow behind Steo.
Okay.
And how do you want to talk to her about the inheritance?
Talk to Deshay.
Mm-hmm. Walk up and say, "Do you know I'm actually the rightful king?"
No. We could just play it cool and like, hey Deshay, haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And of course pay, bow to the king regent. Play it all like we should.
So as you guys are kind of whispering amongst yourself, talking about this plan, you notice that a contingent of halflings approach. 3.5 to 4 feet tall, otherwise human-looking folk, very friendly, smiling, and at the lead is a guy called Merrick Hilltopple, who introduces himself to you with a hearty handshake at each person, and you are immediately kind of drawn into his friendliness and warmth. And he explains that he is here to kind of gather the attention of the humans of the Isle and bring to them the knowledge that the halflings have lived in their area in the place called Skien, which they call Leaf Hollow, for many hundreds or thousands of years, and that no one ever asked them what it was called, and the human settlers named it Skien, and it's on all of the maps of the official Moonshae. They are trying to get it changed back to Leaf Hollow. And would you sign his petition? You get the feeling he's working the whole crowd. That it's
all three of us.
Yes, and he makes a good case that essentially that's not a word that they even have ever would have chosen for it, and Leaf Hollow is much better. It's more descriptive. It's all the locals refer to it that way. So if a traveler travels to this place and is expecting to find some place called Skien, and they'll only find Leaf Hollow, it's really just a matter of accuracy and respect for halfling culture.
I would be happy to support the calling the name is what's appropriate for the residents there. So
he has a scribe, this young halfling girl. Their age is difficult to tell because that they, at around 50, they've kind of become mature adults, and then they live quite a bit longer than humans do. So it's hard to say how old this person is, but she has basically a large book and a clipboard, and she unfurls it, gets a quill, and she writes us if you've given her your name, Steo Hammerville, in very easy to read printing, and then she leaves a place for your signature, and she asks you to sign.
So I will of course read the full document and fine print.
The document, go ahead and I think you guys all have inspiration, but no, this actually it's very simple. It's like a paragraph, and it simply says, we implore the new king to order the map making guilds to correct the mistake that the area known as Skien in the North Alaron province is always has been, and always shall be Leaf Hollow, home of the halflings.
And it's making sure that this isn't a a hag trick or something like that, but yeah, I'll sign it and say, come find me later, and we'll take care of it.
They kind of, they smile and they get you a drink like punch, and then they're like, you must come visit our lands. They're beautiful. They're forested. There's in the hills, there's a beautiful ancient temple. No one even knows what it is. We see you are a cleric of Lathander. Perhaps you could tell us what this ancient temple is. We would be happy to host you and your noble friends.
We would like that very much. We look forward to visiting.
Very good, very good. And so Merrick Hilltopple, mind you, he is the de facto leader, the mayor of the Hilltopple clans. He writes out a writ, which is an invite to you, Steo, and guests to come see him, and draws a little descriptor, rolls it up as a scroll, and gives it to you. Anytime you're in our lands, you show this to anyone, and they will lead you to my home.
Lovely, thank you.
And then he moves on. Does he get the sense that Breckenridge and Lorien are disinterested, or would they also support his cause?
For 3 silver, I'll sign it.
Let's see. I think he would be like a little scandalized by that, and then just probably scurry away.
I'm not political, but 3 silver's 3 silver. You know what I'm saying?
Breckenridge would volunteer to sign it.
Okay, so Breckenridge, same treatment. Also writes you a writ of invite, and just tells you, many people don't come to our lands because they don't think it's interesting. It's just a forested area that is still mostly at peace with nature, and so we would love to have you there. You being our guests would be the greatest honor in many, many years. So we would really love it if you'd come.
That's certainly true.
Roll an insight.
And then I have something else I want to do in the dialogue.
Okay.
I have no idea what happened there. Okay, there we go.
Oh, roll with advantage as Ghost is. Okay. Man, you're in a state. I will let Lorien and Steo also roll.
Insight. I should be better at this.
That's not bad, Tanis. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. As he walks away, so just because of the nature of the rolls, I'm gonna say that he shook your hand, he's given you these writs, and as he walks away and kind of disappears into the crowd, and you kind of lost him. He's like gone. They're too small and quick. Yeah, there was something like pleading in that seems disproportionate to what he's talking about. Like a desperation.
Yeah.
And he was saying, come visit.
I wondered about that.
Hey, would I
as a player.
with my roll too, can or maybe just if I can ask, as Steo's, he's grown up in these lands, right? Is he familiar with any ancient temple in near the Hilltopple?
Let's go back to the big map.
Because a temple like that could be really cool for another group of low-level characters.
You could pay them to go clear it out, and
All right, you see where I'm pinging?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this right there, as you can see, is Skien. That would represent the southern, the southernmost part of the control for Hilltopple clan. So basically, the Hilltopple clan is under the protection of Mountain Heart, who has actual rank and standing in Moonshae. That's the dwarven folks. But this entire peninsula, the Old Stone Wood, that would be the halfling home, and there are supposedly villages scattered throughout. Roll a religion check, Steo.
Sure. I turn off advantage.
Cool. You are aware of no religious temples anywhere, but but you do know that there are ruins and leftovers from ancient times scattered throughout these lands. So if there is something there, and the way he described it, it's probably much older than anything they've built or anything humans have built.
Can I without thoughts, this writ he gave us, it's not sealed with wax or anything, so Steo would unroll it and read it and see if he wrote actually anything else besides hey, free ticket.
That's a good idea.
You read on the back, yes, certainly, as I described, these are my friends. It's a writ of welcome, nothing too dramatic. But as you turn it over and look at the other side, there's a drawing of a hilltop and a forest clearing. And go ahead and roll. I'm going to say roll a wisdom saving throw.
Would anything in my forgery kit help him?
Are you going to take a look at it?
Sure.
You kind of look over Steo's shoulder as he unrolls this thing. Just as a waiter comes up and brings each of you a glass of juice or whatever, you each take a glass and look kind of disinterestedly, almost, as Steo turns over this thing. And I'm going to say that, you feel Ghost kind of tenses up, his claws kind of dig into your arm a little bit. And each of you recognize something you've seen before. And imagine it's a paper drawing, right, of a place you've been. Oh, I got to turn on the lights.
Hey, Ken, I'm going to make a point not to drink any of the punch.
Okay.
Yeah. Agreed.
Always a wise move.
Same.
It's stupid
Same.
experienced players. Dadgummit. Hold on a second. Let me adjust the lighting real quick so you guys can actually see what we're talking about. How about that? Oh, you know what? We need a character on the stupid map, or else we can't see anything. So let's go with.
Or maybe we need to drink all of the punch.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't see anything yet.
Yeah, you should be able to now.
Oh, crud, yeah.
1 second. I'm going to put a character on the map that's not here. Please ignore. That's just for the other video. Okay.
Yeah.
So you see a hand-drawn kind of representation of a familiar. He used the word temple. You're not sure you would use the same word.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that may be a new thing in Hilltop or Leaf. What's it?
So he calls it on the maps. It's called Skien, Skien, and the and the halflings have been wanting to change its name to Leaf Hollow. This is not a new thing. Like, this has been kind of their bugbear for a long time. It's not as if this is new information for you guys.
Yeah,
that's good to know, though. Certainly,
and it's all in that map. If you go to the main map and you can click on get info,
yeah,
location info, you can always read that stuff. It's not changing. All right, so I'm going to take you guys back to the palace. Think. How's that?
Right.
All right, so as I said, Merrick has wandered off into the crowd, collecting more signatures for his. Roll one more perception check before you guys do anything else. Wow.
Damn it.
Nat 20. Nice.
Where's that in combat?
Could I use my jersey and make you re-roll it?
You could.
Okay. So you hear the cat ghost Breckenridge kind of claws at your bicep a little bit, and your attention is drawn over here to House Stronix and Maltese, which are from the Dragonborn Isles. And you know that there is a sort of a, how to put this, there's a conflict in the Isles, in the archipelago, over the leadership of the Dragonborn. And essentially the Dragonborn have this ancient text that they view as a guide to their leadership. And as a noble of the Isles, you would probably know it. If not by heart, you'd know it well enough to know that it says, clans of Corin united with divine will, a turnet of leaders with wisdom and still. The ways of Bahamut, his platinum reign, strength of his people shall never wane. And then it says, I'm just going to bring this all over here real quick. One shall be, or it says, pretenders and demagogues that devile the throne, the chosen shall crush them between hammer and stone. One shall be known by what sets her apart, spiritual adept and noble wielder of Bahamut's heart. So you know this Dragonborn, and she's here. Let me get her token out real quick. Standing next to Queen Stryax, Queen Stronix, is Lilith, and Lilith wields a wooden staff, and wrapped around the wooden staff is kind of a desiccated vine, and at the top of the staff, which is only in contact with the vine itself, is like a fist-sized gem, which is Bahamut's heart. And because she wields it, she is known to be the herald, which essentially she is the high cleric of the Dragonborn, right? As prescribed in the Contender of Dragons. Next to her is Queen Stronix. Queen Stronix is a red Dragonborn, and very tall, very thin, but emanates power. And she has these kind of smallish red bat-like wings. And let's see, copy real quick. So the contender, whoops. Sorry, I guess I didn't copy that. All right, let's finish this poem here real quick. Next shall be one who suffers no fools, the Chamberlain, crown of the Isles and honor his tools. The faithful will know when they find the true king. No noble will be he that has dragon's wings. So what's happening in the Isles is Queen Stronix has wings, but she also has a tail, which means she's nobility. So they are with the herald and the queen. Their triumvirate is if they can connect with the king of Moonshae, who they call the Chamberlain, and that means that the matter of leadership in the dragon clans is settled as soon as that triumvirate becomes settled, right? So you've got the herald, you've got the dragonborn queen or king with wings, and then as soon as the crown picks the leader of the Moonshae, that would be their trifecta. So they are here supporting Adahan, but they obviously stand apart from everyone, and their dragons make them powerful and formidable, right? Okay, that's just information dump. Sorry about that, but there it is. Okay. Please continue.
So were we headed up to Deshay?
I think that was our plan.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to head up the stairs, and maybe check in with our parents first. As we thought the one was deceased, and excuse me, it does make me think. That's so funny, and this occurred to me, how Steele would talk to his mother with all the new news now. If you'd actually say anything,
Yeah.
probably not, but it's like, oh, things are different now. But anyways, I know that's not the point today, so.
I love it though. I actually didn't think of that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Anyways, yeah. So, recognizing this is a part of a dream, so let's just keep it cool.
All right. So, do you move through the crowd toward the base of the stairs?
Yeah.
At the base of the stairs, there's a token for God's Helm, and there's half a dozen clerics and priest warriors who they see you approach one by one, and recognizing you, they give you the nod as if it's you're welcome to proceed. There at the base of the stairs is the Baron David Hexam, who is Constance's husband and Bonnie's father. So Steo, you approach first before anyone else, and young Steo, and he's sort of that aloof aristocracy, right? Gives you kind of a nod, and your mother will be so pleased to see you. What a glorious day. And he kind of bows you out of the way, and Constance, look who it is. And he moves out of the way.
Mother, assuming, good day, Lord Hexam, and mother, always nice to see you.
She turns from looking up the stairs to the king steward and the queen apparent, and turns to look toward you, and she takes a few steps down the stairs. She embraces you, and as she pulls away to look at you, she's smiling and fussing about you've lost weight, that motherly kind of thing. Oh, are you sure you're getting enough to eat? You should come home and get just stay for just a while. You don't have to be out always doing things. And she's wearing kind of her formal clothes, kind of a fur shawl, and roll a wisdom saving throw.
Right, well, that's it.
And Damon, are you gonna bring Breckenridge into the area?
Yeah.
You and your wisdom saving throws. You manage to convince yourself it's a dream, and you're holding your shit together. As you notice that a emerald green snake has slithered up across her bare skin of her shawl, down her arm, and she's now wearing it like a bracelet, completely oblivious to it, as if she's She doesn't even know it's there.
Yep. Yep.
And you just kind of hold yourself like from reacting to that. You just kind of studious blank face, right? Like this is a dream.
Right.
I'm gonna just move you like up here to have greeted her. Okay. All right. David Hexam greets Breckenridge with a, kind of a shoulder, greet. Oh, good day, Lord Pike, your father. And Karth turns around. Breckenridge, there's a kind of a moment of like, so it's super raw, and you're just sort of, father, son. the Baron, pardon me, the King's Steward was just telling me of the great services you and your friends have rendered to him and his cause. Come, greet him. This is a wide flowing, highly ornate staircase, soft cushioned carpet. As you walk up, the King Steward is hands crossed across his, sort of standing in a regal pose. He sees you, and it's tradition to, drop to one knee for a moment, bow your head before approaching.
Okay. I'll kind of glance at Steo and Lorien and say, join me, and then go up the stairs and go through the traditional greeting.
Okay. All right. So I just say that you've done that. You've moved up to the stairs. You've followed the normal protocols, and then Steo and Lorien roll a wisdom saving throw. Okay. Tanis, you got a 13?
Yep.
Okay. So Tanis, you're saying, like, as you see Deshay, this person you've interacted with on and off for all this time, once again, you kind of feel as if her, like she's gotten a bad rap. Like she's not so bad. Like, I don't know why we're always trying to cause problems for her. I can just see that she's trying to do the right thing for the kingdom and her people. And so you're just kind of there going, wow, yeah, okay. Steo, you feel her power kind of boom, 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 just kind of emanate across your body, but your guiding spirit of Lathander protects you, and you resist, but it was close. And Breckenridge, for literally the first time you've ever encountered Deshay face to face, there's nothing, and you realize that you're holding Ghost, and in some way you're occupying the same space as Mortem, who cannot be charmed, and so you cannot be charmed, and excellent. you sort of realize, oh, okay. She is not necessarily, you can't necessarily tell whether she knows you've all been charmed or not, but she is polite and sweet and nothing outwardly arrogant or threatening, as she welcomes you to the palace and insists that you stay to enjoy the feasts that are upcoming. There will be, in the Grand Hall, there will be a feast later, all manner of food from the realm. All the houses will be represented. She even is excited to taste the local fare that is famous from Pike's Point, the pan roast stew that your area has made famous, Lord Pike. She seems to know a little bit about each of you, and so that's kind of a friendly interaction.
That sounds like a great idea.
Roll an insight with advantage, everyone, except for Lorien. I love that the dice have decided that Breckenridge is just out of it.
Yep.
Stay 23 or...
Oh, with advantage?
Yeah. You look over your shoulder into Lorian's eyes, and you can just tell that he is under Deshae's spell. It's just obvious. Whereas Breckenridge is seemingly fine.
All right. And I won't try and fix that or anything like that. This kind of is what it is. But now I wanted to check out Deshae. Is she, because we talked about, we think that her power is so increased probably because of some of the hag's influence. Is there is she wearing like a necklace or an amulet or something that clearly is not, part of the Yuan Ti, thing? It's more like this. That's a hag thing that she's wearing, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me just check here to see.
She's got a button that says I voted for Ursula.
Right, she's wearing a withered hand, or something, or
Ursula 192, let's see here. Why don't you roll just another insight with advantage?
feel a limerick coming on. All right, insight with advantage.
Yeah, dude, the wisdom. So you don't see necessarily any physical objects, and she's not dressed like the image. She's much more dressed for the occasion, right? But you do see in her mannerisms and almost the same way that you guys are, kind of the influence and the curse of the sea hag, or excuse me, the night hag, Ursula, Granny. As if yet another piece on the board.
Does she seem like she's under the control of the hag?
No more than you are.
Okay, but she's being influenced by. Okay.
Right. So you don't think she's. You think she's got her own plans and her own devices. But yeah, the hag's definitely got something to do with this. But as to whether or not she's doing the hag's bidding, you don't really think so. You think she's just trying to do what she's always been trying to do. She's just doing it a lot more ambitiously right now.
Sure.
She invites you before dinner to come to her private garden and enjoy the view and all of her exotic plants.
Oh, I like gardens.
You're welcome to enjoy it. What is your name?
Lorian.
Young Lorian. And when she says your name, you're just kind of gah. Or by all means, continue to enjoy the company. Come to the garden later. And for his part, Adahan is polite and seems to be enthusiastic about Saltmarsh and what you have done to open the path to trade with that location with Saltmarsh. He's talking to Breckenridge about increasing the power of the Navy, and obviously we'll need better naval commanders if we are to expand. And so for your part, Breckenridge, how are you handling that?
Just cool responses, generally agreeable. Sure, that sounds like a good idea to me. And whatever you wish, and just kind of not offering anything.
Okay.
But also not being rude.
All right. So at this point, I'm going to say you either have to accept her offer to go to the greenhouse or depart.
Let's take her offer.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me switch mapperoos. Oopsie. Okay, so you may see a very beautiful greenhouse with fountains. Can you guys put yourselves on the map right here at the southern entrance? So essentially, she leads the group off the map, behind the throne, off to one side, down a hallway, across a little open courtyard, and into this greenhouse area, which is opulent and beautiful beyond description. And there's a fountain there. There's just all manner of exotic plants, and she sort of just walks in and starts to describe, botanically what you're looking at, each item. And sure enough, like, these are things that you have never seen before. Definitely not native to your homelands. These plants, they are difficult to keep alive in the native climate, but I'm making some changes, and I think they will be successful. Transplanting things is always challenging, but often worth it. And she's just walking kind of slowly, taking her time, showing you different things. So don't touch that one; it will sting you. But that one, the fruit is quite delicious if you wish to try it. This kind of thing.
So your intention is to adder these to the local environment?
Oh yes, I think the local flora and fauna, they seem to be, well, a bit plain, but these plants, once they've taken root, I think you'll see that they will add a great deal to the local environs.
I will ask, from where do you hail? Where you bring such amazing plant life with you?
Why don't you roll persuasion with advantage?
Yeah, all right.
Let's see. She kind of laughs. Oh, I doubt you would have heard of it. It's far to the east. A great jungle, a great empire. Oh, come look at this. And she comes over to here. You see this large blue plant with these violet, kind of teardrop shaped flowers, and she plucks a little bit off of each one and offers it to you. It smells like a really powerfully sweet rose, and basically she says it's got healing properties. And none of you look particularly injured at the moment, though.
Not at the moment.
We are looking a little bit haggard.
Let's see.
Does she respond to that at all?
Let me check here. She maybe raises an eyebrow at you. Interesting choice of words, Lord Pike.
I choose my words carefully in the current company.
I see. Let us speak plainly. You know what I'm doing here, and you oppose it, for certain.
Let me correct you there. We know what you are attempting to do.
Oh, let's see. And you are attempting to stop me. Seems an odd way to do it from a distance.
Oh, how would you recommend us to do it?
I wouldn't recommend you do it. I would recommend you embrace this opportunity for your people to improve.
Well, you commented that we're doing this from a distance. There are larger fish to fry than you.
Well, if you feel that way, you're certainly welcome to do what you will.
Well, no need to throw a hissy fit.
Roll a persuasion.
I'd say that reaction was to scale.
Damn it, don't burn my puns. There are not very many snake puns.
It would be a shame if things were to get less friendly. Let's see here.
You don't seem to be the type who would like to be under the thumb of someone else.
It's too constricting.
Damn it. If you'll retcon that, I would love to roll that into it. Or actually, Lorian could just tack it right on like you did, Tim.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
By the way, Breckenridge really is where he is.
Yeah.
So that Yuan-Ti is close to him. So is that one.
So as you're starting to kind of change the tone, with, she's obviously changing the tone as well. There were on those spiral staircases that go up to evidently to nowhere, just to some wire frame, lots of plants and like clinging vines up there. There were snakes wrapped around those coils that suddenly transform into these large. The last time you've seen something like this was when you fought Clang, and these guys are the size of Clang, but they apparently don't have his personality, as they seem very subservient to Deshay. Just watching her, she kind of smiles. She doesn't seem to react too much to it. But I would know why you are here. What brought you here?
Oh, we have been brought here in an attempt to intimidate us, an attempt that is failing. And so we are making the most of our opportunity.
She looks up at the Yuan-Ti perfected, and she says, "You are not intimidated." Give you that cat.
I believe I pointed out that you're not the most dangerous thing we're facing.
So you say. But if I am not the most dangerous thing you're facing, then what is?
Take a guess. I've provided you with a lot of information. Return the favor.
Let's see.
And fellows, jump in here if you've got ideas.
They're doing great, man.
What I'm trying to do is split her away from Ursula.
Yeah.
I think I understand. You are under the mistaken impression that I am in alignment with the Night Hag.
Am I still charmed?
Oh yeah, you. Let me read the rule here for her. Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna stay charmed until she attacks, and then you can make another saving throw at that stage. But you don't actually know that you're charmed. In actual fact, Steo, we've changed locations, so you should have to make your saving throw again, another wisdom saving throw.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pull that up.
Okay. We're just using the one on the left because that wasn't an advantage or disadvantage. Yeah, so in this location, you're feeling, yeah, she's speaking reasonably. Like, you don't necessarily have to agree that everyone wants to turn into a snake for the for it to be better, but you absolutely believe that she is not lying about anything. That she's telling the truth about Granny, that she doesn't necessarily want to fight you guys. Yeah, so that's kind of
Can I
how it's going.
let me so from that perspective, maybe perhaps I can ask another line of questions to Deshay is like well, how is the hag controlling you?
Oh, I see. And she walks slowly, kind of her movements, very sultry and slow. She walks to you, Steo, and she just kind of reaches out and runs her hand, and her caress is just so charming. She runs her hand down your cheek and she says, "The hag doesn't control me. No one controls me. But perhaps she finds our goals temporarily aligned. It's my view that what I'm doing is perhaps helpful to her in some way, but what she doesn't see is that by the time I have completed doing what I'm doing, she will be unable to do anything about it. Snakes do not dream." Leave her with me. Join me. Become as powerful as you might be. And she points up at her large snake folk. Think what you could do. No longer able to fall under her spell. No longer subject to her dreams. We can stop her if we join together.
Interesting idea.
Breckenridge, roll an insight with double advantage.
Wow. I've never heard of that.
Okay. You just heard Steo say an interesting idea as if he's really considering it. And he is a terrible actor. And you're like, oh shit, he's charmed.
Yep. I'm also not convinced I would let Deshay touch him.
Okay.
In current role.
Gotcha. I will say that here, we're gonna do that. I will say that she's not like physically threatening in any way.
Okay.
You don't see it. You don't even see a dagger on her person.
Yeah.
But definitely, definitely Ghost. Yeah, Ghost is still in your arms, and his claws are like giving you a warning.
Yeah, and I do move in real close like that.
Okay. Breckenridge, you move in close. Wham! She locks eyes with you. I will just say that she's been operating under the assumption that you're charmed. Are you trying to make sure she knows you're not, or are you trying to act as if you're charmed?
Oh. I will make it clear I am not charmed.
Okay.
So when I see her reach, and I realize it wasn't threatening, but when I see her reach out toward him, I'll put my hand on the hilt of my sword. Just, like being ready sort of a thing. And I will say, it is perhaps best if you step away from my friend. And let's continue our civil conversation with no hysterics and discuss our mutual adversary. So I'm going to both indicate I'm not charmed.
Okay.
Indicate that I'm protective of Steo, and attempt to redirect the conversation so that things don't escalate back to somebody we both hate.
Okay. I like it. That's nasty. Okay. She kind of as soon as she recognizes that you're not under her control, which in the past you always have been, right?
Yeah, failed every role.
Yeah. she kind of seems like taken aback, and then she feels like she's in the threatened position, and she turns to you, Steo, and says, "You will not let him harm me, will you?"
Why is there cause for violence? I think we're in a peaceful setting here.
Good. And she kind of rotates, like steps closer to this flower and a little further away from you, like slowly, Breckenridge, so that like Steo is between the three of you. But you've come here, you've come here for a reason, surely. You've come here to try to find out more about this hag. Is that why you're here?
That's one of our objectives, sure.
Well, then I will tell you what I know, and then you can be gone. What do you wish to know?
So even though they're charmed, the other two should be able to ask these kind of questions and participate.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, you guys can all.
So, how is it, Deshay, that you intend to defeat the hag, Ursula?
How do I intend to defeat her? The same way I intend to defeat all my enemies. The Yuan-Ti will grow in power. This island is full of people. Their lives will be greatly improved. Their power will be expanded by an order of magnitude. We will no longer be victims of her nighttime terrors. And once this matter of the crown is settled, we can turn our attention to her. I don't believe that she will find much use in Moonshay when I am done with it.
But isn't she supporting you?
I'm not sure why you would think that.
Your power when he saw you last time wasn't nearly this great.
Well, neither was yours.
That's true.
But I did learn a great deal from our previous encounter. And I understand that I was holding myself back, subservient to those leaders in the Yuan-Ti culture who value brute strength and force. It is not brute strength and force that wins these skirmishes. She points up at her guards. It certainly has its use, but for a blunt creature like one of those to think it can make decisions in command, foolish. No, I am simply doing what I am able to do. And if I am being completely honest with you, I believe the hag's interests lie much more in you, Mr. Steo Hammervale, than me.
Why do you say that?
Surely you know his position.
as a leading priest in the area, absolutely we're aware of it. Perhaps you're alluding to our childhood friend Brand, who perhaps has a claim on the throne.
Perhaps I am. Either way, whatever the night hag wants, it has something to do with causing pain, with causing mayhem, with getting good people to do bad things. I am not a good person. I never have been. Nor are my people, nor are my plans. I am boring to her. But you are very interesting. All three of you.
Well, perhaps you can help us defeat her.
Roll a persuasion. You have only one thing I want. And if you were here, I would take it from you.
Also, it's not me.
What's that?
Oh, so it's not me?
No, I'm afraid not, young Lorien. Although, give me a month with you. Let me unlock your true Yuan-Ti potential, and you would be the most feared assassin the world had ever seen. But no.
Thought I already was.
You choose to hold yourself back with these. No, what I mean is, Deo Hammervale, you will always seek to protect the Moonshae Isles, and you would not agree to my requirements. I am afraid that our peace and our parley can last only as long as this dream does. Still, how would you suggest that we work together against the Sea Hag, or against the Night Hag?
Let me think. So that's this player to DM and player to player.
Mhm.
So you mentioned a couple of things, and she's if I'm reading right, she is impacting their dreams, and she is controlling them. The hag is controlling them to a certain degree. But well, I would just say that if you can tell us how best to any insight in defeating her, any weakness she has, we could put that to good use to move her from the situation.
She seems to consider it for a moment, and she what have you already learned?
I'm not going to tell her about the limericks. That she is arrogant and boastful. Arrogance is a weakness.
Agreed. Nothing else?
Well, I am charmed, so I probably won't withhold too much back. She likes limericks.
And you've learned that you can trap her with these limericks?
As you have too, apparently.
Ooh, but I would not. I will not chase her across the plains to try to destroy her. My efforts are focused elsewhere. But you, I will say this. You've learned how to do it. Now learn when to do it. She can travel across the plains as easily as she would. She can move from place to place, and you can stop her from doing it. But you can only kill her in her home. So you must discover her home and then use this ability to trap her. Killing her anywhere but in her home isn't killing her.
Where's her home?
That is the question. It is either the 9 hells or the Feywild. You must find out.
I don't believe she's allowed in the Feywild anymore.
Then it is probably the 9 hells. But you must find it. You must discover that.
You know which level of the 9? Help us now with.
I do not. But again, this is not my quest. It is yours.
Yes.
Level 4.
Okay. Drafting another limerick for future use.
Gotta go with when you're motivated to do it.
When you're inspired.
Wow.
Okay. You guys have anything else to add in?
No.
Roll a perception check, everyone.
Oh,
Excellent. All right. You know roughly where this greenhouse is in the palace, and looking around at its opulence and verdance, you think that this is where Deshay is most of the time.
Are we thinking like this is on the north side
of the throne room?
Yeah.
Yeah. But more importantly than that, you feel as if you've learned that she probably spends almost all of her time here.
And then these young T perfected, they look pretty imposing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're no joke.
actually, don't I have something for that? Hang on half a moment.
You guys want to take a bio break? All right, you guys ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to say at this stage, Breckenridge, Ghost, or I'm going to say one thing real quick. Do you guys have any other specifics you want to talk to her about? The longer you feel like you're here, the longer this charm is going to last. The more it might start to affect you and maybe make it more difficult for you to resist her charm next time. Breckenridge, you're aware of that. The other two are not.
Do you mean in this garden or in this whole dream?
I mean, once you encounter her in real life.
I mean, the longer we stay in this garden or the longer we stay in this whole dream?
The longer you stay in the garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Steo, Lorian, I believe there are other folks that we need to speak with as well. So perhaps we should go out and mingle.
Sure. If that's okay with you, Deshay.
Yes, she says. It is fine. This brand person, I should like to speak with him if you have a chance to bring him to me.
I strongly doubt you would enjoy it.
Oh,
I would.
Well, then perhaps keep him from me. And at that stage, Ghost kind of hops out of your arms suddenly and just sort of motors toward the exit.
Wow, Steo. Brand's name really seemed to rattle her. That just trying to piss her off.
She kind of walks over here and kind of toward this bush here, that kind of, and you see her put her hand in the water, and then she just sort of falls into the water, turning into a glider snake quickly, and disappears into the water.
Does that seem to be a normal Yuan-Ti thing?
Yeah, they can all transform into snakes.
Okay. All right. So, fellas, are we headed out of here?
Yeah. I was through the charms off. Ken.
It's gonna linger for a few minutes, but yeah, I will take the
And the
symbol
perfected aren't moving on us at all.
They're just watching. You didn't get violent, so they didn't get violent.
I mean, if you want to try them out, Bragg, for future reference.
This would be the time. No, it's good to know. We don't have Leonidas with us, so. Okay. Yeah, should we head back and mingle?
Yeah. Let's see what's changed downstairs.
All right. At the last second, Ghost kind of motors into the bushes here, and you hear him like crashing through the vegetation.
Oh,
and
after something.
And he's like, wow, wow.
So okay.
I'll investigate.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check. Okay, so Breckenridge, as you kind of follow him in, you start pushing the vegetation aside, plants. These are like broadleaf fern type plants, kind of wet, soft. You're having to push through, and you keep hearing Ghost just a couple of feet in front of you. Meow, meow. But pretty soon you're walking on like natural terrain, and you're pushing aside more deciduous, like evergreen type plants, and you've got like this Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe situation where you've entered an exterior space, and you're right at the knowledge of knowing you could still go back or go forward.
Stay all right behind me.
So I'm sorry, it's like a portal.
And Lorian too.
Yep. Lorian, did you come up? Yeah. So they seem to be, you know how when one person goes into the into the area to recover the cat, like not everybody's going. They're kind of waiting for you back there.
Gentlemen, I found a portal out of here. We can, I don't know. We can return to the party, or we can follow Ghost.
I would suggest we follow Ghost, but I'd be curious to know if this portal is here in the real world or just part of this dream.
I'd also be curious if it's two-way.
Yeah. Well, let's nothing ventured. Let's go try it out.
Okay.
One moment, please. I gotta find the correct mappage.
So, Ken, I will not draw weapons.
Okay.
Unless, there's an obvious reason. But I am going to walk really carefully, looking for an ambush or anything like that.
Okay, you find yourselves pressing, as I said, kind of um, pressing through trees and um, uh, deciduous branches, and then eventually you come to this little clearing here, and directly to your south is a familiar, especially to you, Lorien, is a familiar wooded area with an ancient. Um, it's hard to call it a temple, but it is definitely an ancient structure, sort of a either Stonehenge, Easter Island style rock obelisks jutting from the ground, almost like the fingers of a titan. And 1 second. Ghost is sort of just sitting in the grass, just looking at it, but kind of, cat-like, licking his paws, looking back at you guys as you kind of come crunching in across the grass. And just sort of unexpectedly looking at you.
Okay. What's behind us? Can we see anything behind us?
You see the forest. You don't necessarily see the pathway back to the wardrobe, so to speak. But you get the sense that Ghost could probably take you back if you asked him to.
Do we feel like he brought us?
Yes.
Oh, so that's the portal.
Okay.
Do we
forward, towards this? He remembers this pretty well as well. Sorry, no.
do we get the sense that we're still in a dream?
Yes, as you feel the influence of Deshay's charm starting to lift from you a little bit, Lorien, you realize you're in a different location, but you're still in that, like, how did we get here, kind of that, yeah, this feels dreamlike, and you think it's the ghost being here and Mortem's influence that's allowing you to maintain that grip on reality to some extent. Everybody roll an insight with advantage.
Oh, 1 sec.
Is the best insight out of all that a 14? Okay, wait. A 21. I'm assuming that Steo will share this information with your friends. The fact that you were charmed by Deshay in the dream would seem to indicate that you are in some level of peril, right? That this is a dream, but it is not. You're not immune to harm just because it's a dream.
Right. We've experienced that before, I think.
So, having said that, did that answer your question, Tanis?
I would share that with the group that maybe more with traveling with Breck, or I forget. Sometimes it's Lawrence and with Breck, but like we had those dreams before with the hag. We're still at risk here. We're physically at risk here.
Wow.
I'd pick up that cat again, just said.
Yeah, I would do that.
Can I climb a tree and see if I see as whether or not we're alone?
Yes. You certainly can. So you're going to try to climb a tree, and let's just have you do like a survival roll. You just obviously try to find the tallest tree you can.
Okay.
So you feel like you are on the top of maybe one of the tallest hills around. and climbing up to a tree. In the distance to the south and then further to the north are maybe a couple of settlements, because you can see just a couple of little columns of smoke, like from wood fires, and possibly just get the slightest hint of it. But there's like rolling hills, wooded hills all around. But you're not, this hill that you're on is not so high that it's looking down at the whole thing. So you're not entirely sure, but yeah, there's definitely a settlement to the north. You can just get that sense of hazy smoke, and one slightly closer to the south.
Okay.
But you're talking, 10 miles away.
Is it the halflings?
You, given the state of the hills, and yeah, you think that could certainly be the case.
Okay. Well, do we want to test that scroll? See if it gets us into the guy's house, especially while he's not there?
I don't know if we need to go there. I think it's more, the interest is getting us here, versus, heading into town. I think this is more like the who's drawn on the back side of the scroll. Do we see anything in the ruins here? Like before, there was a place here to put the dagger.
Yeah,
middle of the stone. Is that all still accurate?
Yeah. So the first thing you notice as you approach a little closer is there's a lot of detritus and debris and damage to the ground. So roll a perception check just as you walk up and look around.
So, perception.
Yes, please.
Oh, turn off advantage. Oh.
All right. So let me just give you the full description. First, let's turn your D6 into a D8. Because awesome. Update. Save. Okay. So as you approach the area, the perimeter kind of around the whole space it's burnt as if there was a fire. Wrong way. Let me do it this way. So almost to like right here, 20 to 30 feet, it's burnt. Like fire had erupted here and then gone out to that like 30-foot radius,
like
and gone away.
Fireball?
Yeah, but hotter. And then you realize there's also like residue of acid, residue of poison. Even it looks like on the rocks themselves, on the pillars they're sticking up from the ground, there are bits of like shattered, where the rock has broken as if it was frozen and shattered in some places.
Uh-huh.
In addition, there are broken bits of some material that at first you don't recognize, of different colors. Also, I should say that the ground itself is like tilled up, like broken, and there are big trenches and marks in the ground as if some large creature's claws had dug from one end to another. And as you approach the center, you remember the dagger, where the dagger went, and that this was used to open a portal. Right now, at present, the dagger is gone, but that puzzle device, what that was there before is there now, and it is connected to the rock, and you instantly recognize it as a clock.
Right, or that.
And you focus more in on on the broken pieces of different colors, and you realize that it's eggshells.
Okay. So I have a couple of things going through my brain, and with a 20 from Steo, natural 20, can I just say what I'm thinking?
Oh yeah,
Potentially no.
I think you should speak up.
Yeah. Like I know this story. Um, so potentially that the different types of damage and massive clawing, it makes me think of, Tiamat is trapped in hell, in the first level of hell, and so are we looking at her coming out or the after effect? Although the eggshells is interesting too. I'm not familiar with that, so um, I'll just share that, with Breck and Lorian, like what we're looking at here. Um, that would be horrible if she. I mean, that would be beyond horrible if she were to come out. But I don't know. I'm not sure what we're looking at. If that's the case, or more. What do you think, Breck?
Well, that's a far better idea than I had.
Oh, okay. Well,
So, nicely done. Um, yeah, I'm kind of at a loss and have never really seen anything like this. So I don't have any thoughts, and I don't have any religious background like that. I wondered if demons could do this kind of thing. The only thing I came up with was like, did a whole bunch of demons all just kind of spawn here of different kinds?
well,
But
these are. And keep in mind, these are devils that come out of hell.
right.
Theo's going all, you know, expert here. The demons are in the abyss and devils are in hell. But still, yeah, there are different kinds. That's true. They're like, ice devils and, um, I'm sure the ones that deal with acid and stuff like that too. But just the poison, the acid, the fire, the frost. I mean, that's the only thing we're missing is lightning, and that's all five heads on Tiamat. Um,
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Lorian, can you roll a perception check real quick?
yeah.
Okay, that checks out because you were specifically looking at the valley around yourself. So you're still trying to, kind of, you're up in the highest tree you can find. You're still trying to get your bearings. And from the northeast, you see, let's see, one, two, you see 6 winged creatures flying your way rapidly.
Okay.
2 of them are very large. One of them is red in color, one of them is silver in color, and they are you've probably got 5 minutes before they arrive, but they're suspiciously heading this direction. It's for our purposes, it is a moonlit night kind of environment. Enough moonlight that you can see clearly, but it is definitely, near the witching hour. So yeah, you got about 5 minutes to prepare for the arrival of 6 winged beasts.
Okay, I will alert both Steo and Breck, and then player to DM the 3 ways that the sea hag could, was it reincarnate herself? Was with by making another coven, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if she's gonna be from the like 9 planes of hell or whatever, what are the chances that this is where she's able to make, or I guess now player to players, what are the chances this is where she's able to turn other children into hags?
oh, like those eggs or something? Those eggs?
Yeah.
I don't the different colors. Ken, with my last question, the natural 20, can Stay investigate those shells more closely and see, truly these are dragon eggs or pretty dragon egg shells, of course, would be pretty darn large.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll. I guess that would be an insight to try to.
Or we do an investigation, or
Yeah, I guess an investigation. Yeah. Yeah. So you are picking up. There's broken shells everywhere, and yeah, they're scaly. They look like they're from an egg the size of like a little bigger than an ostrich egg. And yeah, that. So we're not talking like Easter egg colors. So when I say red, I mean it's more burnt umber, almost a brown color.
okay, but like a
yeah.
dragon egg would be like it would sit on your lap. I mean,
You're 99% sure it's a dragon egg. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, if that's true, and we have multicolored things coming at us that are going to arrive shortly, do we want to be here? Or let me say that when I leave, are you guys going to follow?
Well, do we want to go hide in the trees and see what they do when they get here, or they know we're here? I mean,
I doubt they'll know I'm here. The lowest I can get on a stealth is a 25.
Yeah, but if you're going to get detected, dragons will do it.
Yeah, but 25 is the lowest. I mean,
you guys really wish Leonidas was here with his expertise.
Yeah.
But Florian, you find yourself, you find Ghost up in the tree with you, and he's kind of looking at the dragons, and then he looks back at you, and he kind of pats you in the eyes, right? Like he's like hitting you on the cheek, and then you realize that dragons are one of those creatures that have true sight, so you can hide from them, but you can't like hide in plain sight. You know what I mean? So you guys are going to need cover in addition to hiding. So
yeah, let's hit the trees.
Well, and the other thing is, Ghost could, in theory, take us away if we want. We've already learned that Deshay is at large. So we've learned something from the dream. We could just wake up and then go kill Granny.
Well, we learned, let's see, what did we learn? We learned, I mean, I'm still puzzled a little bit by this, this whole scene here. Because maybe I was wrong, but I'm hoping I'm wrong about Tiamat. That would be really, really bad. But all the eggshells, maybe the more dragons coming in. Maybe this is a view to the future of what the hag's planning, because this doesn't jive with what the Shay's planning.
You don't think Mortem would represent the lightning, do you? Since that's such a huge part of his character.
I don't think so, because that's part of him being a former golem.
Would this be the portal to the next domain of dread?
This is actually where we came to after we entered the portal to this domain. Remember, to find one of Steo's mentors.
Oh, that's right.
He had the dagger stuck in him, and we had to carry him to this spot and then put the dagger in the hole here to open up the thing.
Yeah.
And I forget where we got the clock from, but we had to we had to literally we were on the clock to do something here, and then we fought our mirror images, and that was bad. That was a bad test run. This is what that was.
Yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to say that you you can each roll stealth with advantage as Lorian helps you hide, finds cover.
And I will just say, if I could say this, if these are like big bad dragons and they see we're there, I say we immediately leave with Ghost. I don't want to. Do you think? We
Well, not all dragons are evil.
We could take a couple of blasts of fire acid damage, but you know, it would be bad.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that not all dragons are evil, and we had a productive conversation with our enemy Deshay. We might be able.
Yeah, but if they're traumatic dragons, they're pretty much evil. Okay. There you go.
Hey Ken, my daggers are back to level 1, right?
Actually, yeah, I would say yeah.
Okay.
But I guess to your point, Damon, most dragons could be negotiated with.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I have a wonderful persuasion. So if we're trying to talk to one, and a pretty good deception as well. So if we decide we want to go that route, it wouldn't be a terrible idea.
Yeah. All right. So initially, you've got 5 minutes to work with. So I would imagine that Lorian is sort of in charge of like, okay, hide here, maybe break off this bough, got cover, like so that you can't be seen as they fly overhead. You're back, maybe 6 or 8 trees, and in the heaviest bush you can get in while still having some kind of a view.
Hey, can I reroll that stealth with my jerk?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Should probably change.
Yeah.
And can I give them advantage on stealth?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on a Jersey reroll, do I still get advantage?
I'm going to say in this case, because you've got so much time to prepare, that you can each roll 3 more times with advantage and literally just take the best one.
I got a 22 so far, or 21. Okay. Unless I can roll a natty 20. Let's see.
So
1, 2.
I got a 21 again, so I'll stay with that.
Yeah, my best is a 20.
Oh, there we go. All right. So Tanis, I'm going to say that for the sake of this, with that natural 20, let's go ahead and get you a heroic dice on board. I'm going to say with that natural 20, you're kind of waiting to the last minute before you hide yourself, and you sort of realize that, oh, from this angle that's not so good. So you just basically put them where they need to be, and go, stop fucking moving. And then you actually lay branches across them, and their whole thing is just don't move. And then they can kind of see what's going on. And then from the last second, as you start to feel this power start to encroach upon the area, you climb up in a tree and you're fully hidden. So that's kind of what's going on. You guys are further off of the north of the map than it's showing here, just because the map is, it's got its limitations, right? So the first thing that happens is everyone roll a wisdom saving throw as a giant dragon flies, casting its shadow across the moonlight.
Whoops.
Not sure why I showed up.
You guys are all inflicted with dragon fear as the creature flies over the top of you. And remember, we talked about frightened last time. So essentially, you just can't move closer to the dragon, and anything that you would do against the dragon would have disadvantage. But essentially, what you see fly over the area is an ancient red dragon with a rider who is familiar to you. You see Queen Stronix on the back of this ancient red dragon, and it kind of does this a lap, flies a circle around the formation, and then lands in this clearing here. Wings just woof, woof, and the whole ground kind of shakes as it hits the ground. Moments later, you see an entire formation, a silver dragon with the herald Lilith, the herald of Corin, and this 4 wyvern kind of an escort, and they do a lap after the red dragon has landed in sort of, you can see what is clearly a deferential kind of a pattern, kind of staying away from the red dragon's side of things. They circle once, and then they land, silver dragon hitting the ground first, boom, and then the 4 wyverns landing a little bit sloppily before backing away and moving this way. You see this blue dragonborn sort of move over to the silver dragon and escort the herald Lilith off of the dragon, and she walks into the circle, taking her place here. You see Queen Stronix of the Dragonborn join her at the opposite side, and they nod to one another. And then you didn't quite see them appear, but across the field, you see Granny appear out of the woods and join them in the circle. There is some conversation that happens between the 3 of them, and Lilith, the herald, brings forth from her robes a dragon egg, which from your perspective appears to be golden. And she sets it on the top of the thing. Granny withdraws the dagger that you recognize and hands it to Queen Stronix, who holds it. And then Granny points to the south, and this large stone golem walks forward. And then Granny begins to cast spells. And one at a time, you see walls of stone start to appear around, kind of filling in the gaps between the obelisks. And the walls are just barely too high for you to look over. But after a moment, there is a bright light and a column of light that seems to blast up through the column above the obelisks. And then you hear a cracking, and a few moments goes by, minutes turn into an hour, and then you see a wing, like a dragon wing of a wormling, start to appear, and it flaps up over the top. And this dragon kind of, the large red dragon, kind of runs up, and you see it kind of bat the wing back inside of this lighted dome, this swirling light, as all of the obelisks and columns are glowing brightly, and it has created like a literally a dome of light. And occasionally you see this wing kind of poke out, and they try to push it back in, and it's trying to be contained inside of this energy field. And this goes on for about an hour, and then the light starts to recede and falls away. There's a blast of fire, and excuse me. And then when the walls come down in the space, there is an ancient gold dragon.
Well, that's peculiar.
And everybody roll an insight. Whoa, Tanis. Tanis, you see that one of the wings of the dragon looks a little deformed, like it didn't grow as much as the rest. And the dragon seems disoriented and very kind of subservient, as it kind of like is just looking left to right and sees the red dragon, and then it kind of curls up small, its wing kind of flapping. What do you do?
Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. Lorian's gonna sit and watch and see what's going on.
Okay. Provided that the three of you remain motionless, essentially you watch them reverse this process where the dagger is handed back to Granny Ursula from Queen Stronix. Lilith, the herald of Corin, she kind of coaxes the dragon to follow her, and it does kind of clumsily. The other dragonborn and the wyverns kind of surround it. They are being kind of cautious with it, and it seems to be disoriented and clumsy. And you see the silver dragon kind of you notice now for the first time that the silver dragon, one of its claws is malformed, like its forearms, as if it's like almost a T-Rex arm, much too small for its body. And it kind of crawls forward and growls at the gold, and the gold and the silver kind of come to an understanding. And there's some time spent where the gold dragon's trying to flap its wings and learn to fly, and they kind of surround it. Eventually, Lilith climbs on board the silver dragon, and Granny and the others kind of stand back. But eventually, given time, the dragon makes 3 or 4 flight attempts that result in crashing into trees. I'm going to roll a d12, and you don't want me to roll a 2. Okay, so mostly it's flying into this general direction and kind of getting into the air and falling and failing and getting back into the air. But eventually, it with the help of the wyverns and the silver dragon kind of coaching it, it eventually takes to the sky, and all of these creatures fly after it, and they again fly back northeast, and eventually you are alone again.
Well, that's interesting. So that explains all the eggs.
Yeah.
And fire and acid and stuff. But so I guess what's of interest is that Queen Stronix was there, and I don't think she was charmed.
Yeah, I think they're working together, and if they're generating dragons, they can take over the Isles.
So, so Ursula is basically she's playing all the angles to screw with the Isle. Yeah.
But I think what I learned is that we each need our own gold dragon mount. So, Ken, can you have that ready for us next session?
Absolutely.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. I feel like you guys and Tanis, with your natural 20 on your insight, you really feel like you need to talk to Leo about this, what you just witnessed, because, you know, one of those things that everybody knows in the world of Moonshae is that dragons are controlled by the Dragonborn of Corin. And so they also, you know, they're in charge of protecting the eggs and all of that stuff. So you're not 100% sure why this is, what's going on here. So
Wow. Okay.
do you have any notional idea what just happened, like mechanically? Just wondering.
Well,
Everybody?
my take on it is that they hatched and matured a dragon at a highly accelerated rate. And when one wingtip got stuck out of the magic shell, it didn't grow as quick as all the rest of it. So as a player, that's my thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. And Ursula has the dagger.
Yeah, you might want to write that down.
Oh, I'll remember that. I remember that one. Okay.
Okay. So it's 11:30. I feel like you guys have reached like this kind of new plateau of knowledge. And do you guys want to continue in the dream or go back to, you feel like you can wake up anytime you want now?
I'm kind of good either way, I guess. Well, how
I
strong is
think we're
that?
done here. I don't know if there's anything to learn back at the palace.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say our best bet is probably to wake up and figure out where to go in the physical world.
Yeah, we're gonna wake up on that beach. And here's
Yeah.
the thing too, we gotta discuss with the rest of the group. So we did shut down that nightmare scenario. So we're down 2, but we unleashed a bunch of demons on the island and the town there. So we should take care of that. And Ursula grabbed Bonnie. So those are the immediate priorities. I'm assuming perhaps we'll see Bonnie in the next nightmare situation, if not before. Bonnie wasn't in the dream. I didn't see her there. I guess those are my immediate observations and thoughts. And we got to raise Lord Karth from the dead.
A nice summary.
That's all.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you follow Ghost into the woods, and you seem to be flying high above all of Moonshay and kind of coming down closer and closer to Flamstead. As you do that, your view changes to the isle itself, and you sort of have this view of the place as you guys are homing in on the caves by the beach right here. You have a sense of where the demons seem to have gone.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you wake up here. And essentially what was going on is Breckenridge, at the end of our last game, you had said you kind of slipped down against the wall and just in frustration kind of closed your eyes. Lorien, you had went to check on Breckenridge and saw him there with his eyes closed and thought, oh, that's a good idea. Steo, same thing. So the 3 of you wake up eye stinging sand kind of blowing. It's dry daylight. You can hear the ocean kind of in the distance, the waves crashing. And you see Leonidas and Leonidas and Mortem talking with Brand, discussing what they should do next. Unlike in your dream, you'll be back to your exact status you were. You got no rest, but you didn't take any extra stress damage. And you've learned, hopefully once and for all, that you cannot rest anywhere that isn't hallowed ground or in some way protected from the hag. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we still are at a -2 for stress, right? We didn't take any more stress damage.
You didn't take any more, which was good. But I'm gonna, before we play next time, I took screenshots of all your stuff and I'll put you back to where you were.
Okay.
But the good news is that only like 20 minutes has gone by. And it was 20 minutes that was being spent preparing. And Mortem kind of comes up to you, and I'm going to put the regular Mortem on the screen here, and says, "Oh, good. You're back. What did you see?"
Well, let me tell you. I like your cat.
Ghost. And he opens his hand and Ghost kind of appears just right there as if he was there the whole time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a lot of information. I don't think we did this, Ken, but maybe I'm wrong. The temple of the church in Stoke-on-Trent, Kent, did Steo, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Oh, the travel thing?
Yeah, the word of recall.
Word of recall. You put all of the ones you did on your character sheet.
Did we?
I think you did.
Did I? Would I?
Yeah, somewhere in the bio section.
Well, here we go. Word of recall locations: Lower Carrier, Llewellyn, and Salt Marsh. So perhaps we should add Stoke-on-Kent here as well.
So you'll have to travel to the church and then cast it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I guess that's
you can absolutely do that. Yeah.
The group here is, we could leave the aisle here, but we're leaving it in some shitty condition, with demons all over the place. Do we got to clean it up here first, or what?
And I will just tell you that Mortem says, Mortem and Lorien, do you remember in the Abyss you would finish a battle and then I would roll a bunch of dice, and then that would be how many hours you had before the demons would put you in the pit again, and it was never more than 48. You feel like that same kind of an effect is in place, except it's not hours now, it's probably days. So once Steo banished Rakan successfully, she's banished for a number of days. You don't know exactly how many days that's going to be. I'm going to roll it, but it could be up to 48 days.
Okay, cool.
So that's kind of what Mortem's been studying while you guys were in the dream. He diverted Granny. So he knew she was assaulting you guys, but instead of like waking you up, he took the risk to let you see what you might see in the dreams. And instead of her using the dreams to harm you, you kind of used the dreams to gain some information that she won't know about. So she doesn't know what you guys learned today.
Cool.
But as for the demons themselves, they can summon other demons. So every day that goes by, essentially, if they're like burrowing in to play here on the prime material planes, the more time that goes by, the more likely they are to build their own little armies. So that's what you're up against.
I just feel like that's kind of an immediate need, because they're gonna lay waste to this island and the towns if we don't intervene.
Which is already pretty well laid waste to.
Yeah. Oh, great! Vampires are gone. Oh, great!
Demons are here.
What the hell? Thanks, guys.
Cool. All right.
All right. Well, good job, man. That's always interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely felt like we were in the space where, with two people absent, it's a good change of pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That was fun.
Cool. All right. Well, let me stop the recording.